Live from the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
All around the country over President Trump's travel ban. I'm Virginia Chung.
I'm Jason Martinez. The sudden executive order kept families apart and drew crowds of angry protesters to airports. ABC's Janae Norman is in Washington with the backlash.
Chaos, confusion, and outrage. From the shadows of the Statue of Liberty to the gates of the White House, thousands packed airports and crowded streets to protest President Trump's executive order on immigration. The order bans Syrian refugees from entering the U.S. indefinitely and puts a 120-day stop on all other refugees. It issues a 90-day ban on nearly all travelers from 7 predominantly Muslim countries: Iran, Iraq, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen, none of which were involved in a single major terror attack on U.S. soil, including 9/11. Travelers, including children, were detained at airports across the country. President Trump taking heat on both sides of the aisle. Republican Senators John McCain and Lindsey Graham saying in a statement the order will become, quote, a self-inflicted wound in the fight against terrorism.
This executive order was mean-spirited and un-American, and it will only serve to embolden and inspire those around the globe who will do us harm.
The president firing back, tweeting, the big problems at airports were caused by Delta computer outage, protesters, and the tears of Senator Schumer.
Chuck Schumer yesterday with fake tears. I'm going to ask him who is his acting coach.
Over the weekend, the president clarifying this is not a Muslim ban and saying it's working out quite nicely. He also fired back at the Republican opposition, tweeting that Senators McCain and Graham should focus their energies on ISIS, illegal immigration, and border security, and, quote, not always looking to start World War III. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
So far, no protests today at Lindbergh Field like this one we showed you live last night on 10 News. Huge crowds you can see on the sidewalk. They actually moved inside. One of the protesters was a boy born in Ethiopia.
Everyone knows that this is my home and this is your home. So all he's doing is changing that.
At one point last night, the airport locked its doors to keep the protesters out. Everybody eventually left on their own.
I'm Jared Aarons, just into the 10 News Live Center. Lots of legal challenges today to the president's executive order on immigration, like this one. California Senator Dianne Feinstein introduced 2 bills in Congress. One of them would actually end the order. The other calls for more congressional oversight on immigration policy. That includes a 30-day advance notice on any changes or executive orders. Meanwhile, the Attorney General of the state of Washington is suing the president, calling that executive order unconstitutional. He says right down here, no one is above the law, not even the president. And meanwhile, the Council on American Islamic Relations held a news conference this morning to announce that they are suing the president as well, calling his executive act unconstitutional based on religious grounds. That live stream doesn't seem like it wants to come up right now, but trust me, they just announced it. In the Live Center, Jared Aarons, 10 News.
All right, Jared, thanks. And a breaking news update. One person is in custody for the shooting at a Canada mosque. 6 people died, 5 more in the hospital. No word on why this person did it, but Canadian officials believe it was a terror attack. Condolences coming in from around the world. The mayor of Paris will shut off the lights at the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, and President Trump called Canada's prime minister this morning to give his condolences.
Let's get to our breaking news update. A family left dealing with the aftermath when a suspected drunk driver plowed straight into their home.
Yeah, that truck broke through the wall of a children's playroom, took out a power pole. You can see one of the family members there very upset. 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala has been following the story from Lemon Grove since 10 News this morning. So, Mimi, what's going on there now?
Well, Virginia, Jason, a whole lot of cleaning up is what's going on right now. Fortunately, no children were sleeping inside of that room when that pickup driver came crashing through, but he did take out this power pole that was here and this water monitoring station that was here. They've both since been replaced. Look at the wall, though, just destroyed, and inside the children's toys just crushed. A family of 3 was actually sleeping inside of the home when that man missed a stop sign on Englewood Drive and just came straight through the house. They hurried over to the room and found the driver still inside of the truck. The man who lives here helped get him out, but when deputies got to the scene, they gave the driver a DUI test and then arrested him. The truck took out a power pole on its way, like we just showed you, causing neighbors to lose power for hours. Crews spent the morning replacing that damaged pole with this new one I just showed you. Homeowner Bianca Jimenez is left dealing with the heavy damage, but she says she's just so glad her niece and nephew weren't over at the time.
That's the scariest part, that somebody could have been in there on the other side of the wall. And yeah, so it's pretty devastating to see.
Now, it's been about 9 hours, and I just spoke to the family a little bit ago, and they say power to their home still hasn't been restored, so they're just waiting to have their power back on. They're hoping to get it sometime soon today. Reporting live in Lemon Grove, Mimi Alcala, 10 News.
A breaking news update. Police are investigating a suspicious death at a home in Choyas Creek. Officers went to the house last night about 9 o'clock, and they found a man suffering from stab wounds. He died at the scene. Homicide detectives are still investigating. We'll bring you any updates on this case as soon as we get them. And a breaking news update. A man was rescued from the border fence this morning after he was stuck in the water near Imperial Beach. Border Patrol saw 3 men in the water calling for help earlier today, and 2 of those people made it to the beach, but that third got stuck in a rip current off the shore. He ended up hanging onto the border fence in the water for about an hour before lifeguards got to him. He was taken to the hospital with minor injuries.
A man demanded money from an Uber driver after she hit him with her car. The 10 News breaking news tracker was there as police arrested the man who was hit. The driver says she accidentally hit him downtown. She says the man then demanded money from her. She drove him to a gas station on Broadway and F Street in Chula Vista. She ran inside and warned the clerk, who called police. Officers arrested that man, you can see, for an outstanding warrant on something else. Happening now, the man charged with a hammer attack is in court. Surveillance video shows that attack happened 2 weeks ago in North Park. Police say the man holding the hammer there is Louis Cedarholm. They say he beat Henry Rader 13 times in the head. Cedarholm facing charges including attempted premeditated murder and assault with a deadly weapon. Meanwhile, support continues to pour in for Henry Rader. A GoFundMe page has raised more than $50,000 for his medical expenses. This is right after the attack when he was in the hospital. If you'd like to help, you can find a link to the page on 10news.com. Just click on the red TV button.
A search is underway for the driver who walked away from a crash in Old Town, and only our 10 News breaking news tracker was there at the scene early this morning. The car flew off the southbound 5 and went straight through a sign up the embankment into the side of the Old Town overpass. Witnesses saw the driver leave the scene. Jared.
Thank you, Jason. Happening now in the 10 News Live Center, Delta Airlines almost back to normal after a computer problem shut down the airline over the weekend. They tweeted out today that a majority of their flights will operate, but 110 are canceled, possibly more. So I checked San Diego's flight tracker right now, and it shows Delta flights, all of them that are on there are on time or just slightly delayed. No cancellations on Delta flights today at Lindbergh Field, either coming or going. In the Live Center, Jared Aarons, 10 News.
Thank you, Jared. Happening now, a major project to restore the iconic community pool at Belmont Park. The plunge closed 3 years ago after opening in 1925. 10 News anchor Robert Santos live where city leaders and the park's managing company just broke ground to get that construction going. Robert.
Oh yeah, this was a big deal. This is a celebration out here with more than 100 people. You can see here they've already cleared on out of here, but the crews are hard at work starting this big construction project. The company leaders and also city leaders were out here breaking ground, or in this case, breaking glass to get the construction going. The plan is to tear down what's left of the athletic club and build a whole new building. A new plunge will go up in the same spot. They'd repair the pool and add a 6,400 square foot mezzanine connected to the gymnasium. It'll have new equipment and a workout area right on the rooftop.
My parents used to take me here. It was just the plunge, and I think they had the old roller coaster. I used to go here all the time. Then this is like the second one, I believe, that they did remodel, and that was nice. I used to come here and go swimming, and so now change is good.
But in order to get the construction done, they'll need to take over about 90 spots in the nearby parking lot. Crews don't plan to work during the busy summer months, so those spots will be open up once again. So back here, the new and improved plunge should be ready to open up in 2009 at a cost of $6 million. Live here at Belmont Park, Robert Santos, 10 News.
All right, Robert, thank you. And we want to let you know, within the hour, we're going to learn more about plans to bring Major League Soccer to San Diego. A group that includes Mayor Kevin Faulconer will hold a news conference. We'll bring you the updates live on 10 News Midday.
Junior Seau's last wishes carried out this Super Bowl week. The new message for football players ahead of the big game.
And the fire chief's son found dead in Lake Arrowhead. The mystery surrounding his disappearance is next.
It's the warmest day of the week. I'm tracking how long this taste of spring will last. Now let's check traffic with Officer Tommy Dorr. Hi, Tommy.
Hi, good morning. We do have an accident just outside the Ramona area. This is on the 67 at Airmail Lane. CHP clearing up a two-car crash there. Reporting the northbound lane is blocked, so be careful passing there. And Coronado Bridge, there is a lane closure. If you're heading from Coronado over to San Diego, you can see Caltrans has that ride lane blocked off. Should be reopened by 1:30. Don't forget to slow for the cone zone. I'm Officer Tommy Dorr with your 10 News Time Saver Traffic.
Are you suffering with knee pain? Have you been told that your knee is bone on bone, or your only option?
This day, and they've started the Faces of CTE project. They're urging people to donate their brains to science to find out how football and other sports affect brains. And this hits home in San Diego because one of the faces of CTE was former Chargers Hall of Famer Junior Seau. He ended his own life with a shotgun blast to the chest because he said he wanted his brain studied. The group, by the way, also says one of their goals is to make sure that kids don't play tackle football until they are 14 years old. In the Live Center, Jared Aarons, 10 News.
And new today, a sex trafficking bust just ahead of the Super Bowl. Two men accused of luring a woman from Phoenix to Houston. They appeared in court today. The men held her at the hotel, but she was able to text her ex-husband, who called the National Human Trafficking Hotline. Authorities rescued her and another woman. Prosecutors say cases like these go up during the Super Bowl. New developments. The suspect in the South Florida airport shooting that killed 5 people and injured 6 has pled not guilty. Esteban Santiago appeared in court today for his arraignment. Earlier this month, he flew from Anchorage, Alaska to Fort Lauderdale with a handgun and ammunition in his checked luggage. Police say he loaded the gun in the bathroom at the airport, then started shooting at the baggage claim. Santiago could face the death penalty if convicted.
10 News has some new video today of an elaborate drug tunnel between Otay Mesa and Mexico. It's 70 feet underground, stretches about 760 feet from Tijuana into a warehouse. Border Patrol agents say it's not clear at this point if President Trump's border wall plan is forcing more criminals underground.
Do you think that these tunnels started appearing as a response to as more fencing went up in this area?
Oh, I'm sure it probably did. But we're also still talking, there's a lot of stuff they have to move.
Homeland Security says in the past decade, nearly 30 of these tunnels have been discovered in the San Diego area. They expect criminals will keep building these tunnels. 10 News is watching the border in the meanwhile after another closure because of a gas price protest in Mexico. The southbound 5 was closed at San Isidro for several hours yesterday afternoon. This was the 4th weekend in a row of gas protests. Northbound traffic was not affected.